Hi, welcome back. This is a second video on argument. So in the previous video, we talked about the claim and how we need to make sure we qualify our claims. In this video, we're going to talk about the next couple areas, which would be reasons, evidence, and proving trust. So reasons are just why, right? Why do we believe what we believe? So going back to my Kevin Hart example, right? My reasons, I always think of them as like mini claims. They're like the claims supporting my claims, which would be, he's funny, he's popular, he shows up in a lot of places, right? These are my reasons for why I think he's one of the best. And then my evidence is what actually proves my claim and my mini claims. So you'll see on your sheet there's a bunch of different types of evidence. There's more than what's here, but these are just some of the big, most popular ones. Facts and statistics should be familiar to us, right? Statistics is numbers. So anything, percentages or just numbers. Obviously with Kevin Hart, if I'm saying he's popular, I could talk about how many people go to his shows, how much money his movies make, right? Those would be statistics. Facts are things that can be proven, things that are true. And not there's more things are opinion than we think, but there are facts out there. So again, that's why they kind of go together. If I say he sold this many tickets for this concert, that's a fact and it's a statistic. Okay, so we got that. Then we have examples. So an example, it's hard to define example, but without using the word, but I would say it's an instance or a time when something happened that proves what you're saying, right? So if I say he's very popular because he sells a lot of tickets to his shows, and then I give you an example of a show where he sold a lot of tickets, that helps prove my case. Next is authorities, and by that, of course, we don't mean the police, right? We mean people who are in authority in the topic, right? People who have authority, that have knowledge, that have expertise in whatever it is you're talking about. So we might see professors or academics, right? People who work in, at a university of so-and-so, work in the economics department. They did this study and this is what they found, right? Or it could be experts in the field. So people who actually work in the field. With Kevin Hart, for example, I might interview other comedians who could give me some sort of judgment about his jokes or how he handles the audience, things like that. So people who maybe have more knowledge than I do about the topic. Then we have the last two, scenarios and anecdotes, are both stories. So stories are narratives, things that have a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? And anecdotes are true, so that means they actually happened. And a scenario is a hypothetical, meaning it's something that could happen. And it has to be something that really could happen. It can't be, aliens landed, right? It has to be something that could happen. And the difference with an example is, so I might say, for my example, Kevin Hart played at the United Center last week and he sold out the show and, that proves he's popular. An anecdote would be telling the story of Sandy, who bought tickets to the show, but then another friend wanted to come along, but there weren't any more tickets. And she looked on StubHub and went everywhere, and the tickets were selling for thousands of dollars. And she went to the show that night, and there were barely any scalpers even there because they were, no one wants to sell their tickets to the show. So, then I'm kind of telling the story of somebody who went through this process and saw the popularity on their through their journey, right? So those can be really effective, and those are great ways to start an essay, right? Is to give an anecdote or a scenario, a hypothetical of something that could happen that shows what's going on. It's a really great way to draw people in. And even within the essay, I think it's always good to try to include a narrative when you can, because again, as a reader, for readers, it's really effective to hear a story of someone, right? Just remember though, that one story of something happening to one person is not proof that it happens to a lot of people. So you want to use like a statistic that says, this many people do this thing, and hey, here's a story of someone who had that happen to them. Okay. Oh, I'm running out of time. I don't want to go too long on our video. So I'm going to stop this one and then I'll record another one on building trust.